I I don't know who's worse in this situation. I don't know if it's me for watching this movie or it's the people that actually made this movie. So, Music is a new movie written and directed by Sia, and it stars Kate Hudson, Leslie Odom Jr., Maddie Ziegler, and it's about this woman who hasn't really done a lot with her life. She's a screw up. She's involved with drugs, and one day she learns that she's about to become the sole guardian of her autistic sister, played by Maddie Ziegler, and that's the plot of the movie. So a lot of people have been bashing this movie. A lot of people hated the fact that they made this movie for the fact that, Sia cast Maddie Ziegler, who doesn't have autism, to play this autistic character. And there's a lot of things, like a lot of bad stereotypes about autism and about a lot of things in general about that. And initially I was just kind of like, I was trying to back away from that. I didn't want to comment on it. I didn't want to say what I felt about it before seeing the movie. And honestly, I just felt like skipping this movie at first. Like, it just didn't seem like worth the time. It didn't seem like worth the trouble. Worth the trouble to watch, I mean. Not, you know what I mean. And I eventually sat down and watched it because I'm kind of bored. And oh God, oh my God. If this isn't the worst movie of 2021, I'll be surprised. Holy crap. Yikes. So, is there really anything good in this movie? Honestly, no. Like, not really. Like, even some of the performances that are, like, okay at best, like Kate Hudson and Leslie Odom Jr., they're not terrible per se. They're just not that good. Like, they're trying to give, like, good performances, particularly Kate Hudson, and it just doesn't work for me. And it's, like, other than that, like, nothing in this movie is good. Let's talk about the obvious one. Maddie Ziegler, cast as this autistic girl who doesn't communicate. She just, like, she just smiles a lot with her mouth open. She has her teeth out. And it's really a really poor portrayal of this subject matter. And remember in Tropic Thunder when Ben Stiller did that Simple Jack movie? It kind of reminded me of that. Why? Just why? It's such a terrible performance. It's a really horrible idea to begin with, it, especially, like, there's no logic behind this performance. It's just horrible. It's horrendously bad. It's a horrific performance in every way. It's an insult to people who actually do have autism. It's just shocking how low you can go in 2021. Just when you thought the bar couldn't get any lower, this is the bar. Yikes. Oh, God. There are other actors in this movie, too, who appear, like Hector Elizondo, Ben Schwartz. They appear in this movie randomly for really no reason. Hector Elizondo, he's like a guardian to both of them, and he's just there for a paycheck. Ben Schwartz is there because, he's waiting on Sonic the Hedgehog money. It doesn't have, like, the amount of cameos that something like QB Halloween has, but it's definitely distracting in a way. Speaking of distracting, there's a ton of music videos in this movie. There's a lot of music videos in this movie, and that's how Music, yeah, literally the character's name is Music. That's how she sees the world. It's never explained. It just distracts from the main story, which admittedly is terrible as well. And the musical numbers are just bonkers. They're just insane. Like, why? Like, this doesn't seem like... Obviously, this is not authentic. This just seems like what someone imagined when they just took a shit ton of drugs. Like, there are some images from these music videos that I just can't get out of my head. And I want them out of my head. It's that crazy. They don't do anything for the script, for the story, and there's just random, like, even the music is not that good. Like, Sia, I actually like as a musician. After this movie, I definitely have problems with her. But, like, her music I actually really did like for a while. And with this movie, like, none of the music is memorable in any way. It's just boring. It's forgettable. It's just sad, really. And the story itself, it's a watered-down version of Rain Man, essentially. And like a watered-down version of Rain Man with a little bit of Manchester by the Sea, and they're trying to take this so seriously. And the problem is with the performances, particularly from Maddie Ziegler, it just comes off as insensitive. It's horrible in so many ways that you just can't imagine. Like, this isn't worth watching, honestly. It's so... Oh my... I should have listened to myself when I said I wanted to avoid it. And yet I didn't. I really should listen to myself more. It has every cliche in the book. The main storyline is like, oh, this woman who's you know, gets like really messed up on drugs, and she becomes his guardian, and it literally just throws every sort of cliche at you, even when it doesn't really make sense. It has every bad stereotype you've seen of autistic people. It's really embarrassing. Like, this is embarrassing for everyone, honestly. It's embarrassing for Sia. It's embarrassing for Kate Hudson, Leslie Odom Jr. Definitely embarrassing for Maddie Ziegler. Oh my god. Again, if this isn't at least in my top 3 for the worst movies of last year, I'll go top 3, because it's only February and we still got a lot. This isn't my top 3 worst movies of 2021. I'll be shocked. I'll really be shocked. I'm gonna go, because this movie goes so low with pretty much everything in this movie, I'm gonna go as low as possible on my rating. I'm gonna give music 0 out of 4 stars. Skip it. Just who thought of that? Just why would anyone think this is a good idea? Someone please tell me that. So, did you watch music? I hope you didn't. And I don't really have a good question, because there's really no good questions you can ask about this movie. The only good question I want to ask about this movie is, why? Just why? Why is anything okay for this? We're all better than this. So, what are your thoughts on the movie? Comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. This is Pat. Just don't watch music. Just don't do it.